So today we're going to take a look at one of the show matches that happened in Japan between Fnatic and Zeta Division. I might be taking a look at a couple of these games over the next couple of days because some of them I think were pretty interesting. But let's take a look at this one, Fnatic versus Zeta here on Haven. These were just best of one matches, but they still had some interesting things going on. And this, of course, is kind of a first real look at Fnatic versus a tier 1 team with their new roster and whatnot, with Chronicle playing. And so I thought it was pretty interesting to see, how they were doing and what they were doing. Let's start off with their comp, which is actually, I think, pretty normal and maybe might become even the standard comp, going forward after the chamber changes, where we've got a Jet in here again. Kind of an old school comp, you might say. Fade has replaced Sova, but other than that, this is kind of like an old school Haven comp. And so, yeah, this might become, very normal going forward, especially with the power of those Killjoy ults right now, as I've mentioned before. But let's dive in and let's start here with round number 4. And so Fnatic are on the attacking side. This is going to be a great round by Zeta Division, as you will see in just a second. But what's going to start off here is Fnatic are going to go for this little A default. They've got Alfia here with the turret just watching down both sides of mid and Alarm Bot on C. And he's just going to sit here in mid whilst the rest try and make some progress towards this A site. But what we've got here is this Killjoy setup. You see this Alarm Bot in here. Right, very, very interesting Alarm Bot, and this very deep turret as well, just to help protect this Omen here, who's, just kind of waiting, and just going to use this Alarm Bot. As soon as it goes off, we're going to get a flash down here, and then you've got Laz here on the Killjoy, just ready to swing off that contact from the Alarm Bot. This is something that, we didn't see too much of with Chamber, obviously only having one trap, but now with the kind of, getting Cypher and Killjoy back into the meta, we might start to see this kind of thing come out more. Obviously, this Omen could be like a breach as well, right, with a stun and whatnot. I think we might start to see this a bit more, where you use a bit of Sentinel utility to, then, basically use a bit of other utility, be it a flash or a stun or whatnot. Off the back of it, someone swings, and you get a nice reward of a kill. And you'll see that that is what is going to play out here. And normally coming down short here, you will only see one, maybe two people coming down here for an attacking side when they come towards A. So, it's still pretty safe for this person to swing with the flash. This is a nice long corridor as well to flash from. So, it probably will catch them. And you normally won't be dealing with, 3 or 4 people where you might miss one, or, they could just spray you down as a team. That probably won't be the case. So you're going to see that Fnatic do start to come towards A. Durka will dash in. We do get a bit of a reveal here. We get this Nano Swarm coming off, but you see normal exec coming in. But Zeta are patient, right? They're happy to let this go on because Laz is going to get this. The Alarm Bot then goes off. We are then going to get this flash, as you can just see there on the map, this flash coming down. So Boaster gets flashed. He then naturally retreats, but that's straight what Laz wants to do, and he gets that kill. And now Fnatic have a problem. Right, they have a real problem because they've got Durka on the site, right? Durka's here, he's on the site, and so, they can potentially get the spike down. They've cleared a lot of the actual site itself, but now they have a real problem in this, and Alfia is still, on the other side of the map as well. The rotates are coming in, but, Alfia doesn't know that people, aren't there yet, and Laz is now just a massive, massive problem because they have to be worried about someone coming back here, but Durka also has to be worried about someone, coming from short as well. So just a lot of resources are going to be spent essentially to just keep an eye on Laz and kind of keep an eye on where he's going. But he just doesn't move. They even use a Fade ult on him as well, right? And they will manage to get the spike down here. But you're going to see, like, he's causing them a problem, right? We've got this Breach just staying back here. Chronicle, he's just looking for him. We got Leo taking a look at him as well. But we're going to see a really, really nice retake here come from Zeta as well. Because what we're going to get, you can't quite see it, but a drone has just come behind this smoke and has spotted where Durka is. We've then, as you can just see here as well, had Sugar Zero go from here as Omen and TP down here, right? We've just sent out Leah as well that's just been shot by Durka, so they know that Durka is here. We get these Jet smokes as well just to create like even more confusion that this Jet might dash in, right? And, these players are just all confused. You see Leo actually doesn't even know that Sugar Zero is there. He's going to get that kill. We've got this smoked off at the bottom as well, so that Breach Chronicle can't see. And I mean, if we take a look at the map, you've still got, Chronicle worrying about where Laz is, who has not moved. Alfia is in Narnia, and this is going to be really, really nice from Zeta Division. Just overall, really good retake, and they managed to get the kills. Sugar Zero just mops them up with his teleport, and now we even have to save because, Fnatic are just too locked out of the round, and Laz just caused them so much problems with that setup on short. And now let's come to round number 7. We've got 1 minute 17 left in the round, and this one is about to get pretty crazy. So Zeta are on kind of like a half save. Some have guns, some just have pistols, but on this kind of semi-eco or ecos in general, a very common strategy here on Haven is for some kind of mid-aggression to come from the defenders and try and take a fight. And as you can see, that is what Zeta are going to do here. They're just playing retake on A because they have a killjoy lockdown, which we will see as well. But yeah, this is what they're going to start off with just this kind of, you know, mid walk essentially from these guys in just a second. You see that they're going to smoke off the window here, and now, you know, obviously that kind of is a bit of a clue to Fnatic as well, that, you know, that is a possibility of what Zeta are wanting to do, you know, considering they smoked off that window. And so Zeta, that's what exactly they are going to do. They're going to come down here to start. Eventually this smoke will fade, and then we're going to start getting kills going back and forth. As you see, Laz manages to get that kill there, but after some spraying, eventually we're going to get a trade and end up in a 4v4. Whilst this is all happening, as we do end up in that 4v4 just there, Durka is now completely on the A site. We got a really nice nanoswarm here just to stop Crow being aggressive any further. But with Durka, you know, managing to come all the way up here onto the A site, take a look at what Laz just did. He just put down this alarm bot just here, right? Because what he's about to do next is he's going to put the Killjoy you know, the Killjoy lockdown here in this corner, right? And so he wants to have that information. If anyone is coming down here to come and swing on this lockdown, he wants to be able to, you know, have that info and be able to, you know, deal with them essentially. So you see, that's exactly what he does. He comes and places it down, and, you know, lo and behold, guess exactly what happens here. Durka's like, oh, I can destroy this, right? I'm in good position. He then even throws a nanoswarm. We'll get to that in a second. The alarm bot goes off, but Laz actually manages to win the fight there against Durka. The lockdown continues, and Laz, with that lineup of that nanoswarm, has gone and put that, you know, lineup. Here's where the lineup Larry's, you know, can come in useful. He's gone and put that in this corner, and so poor Leo here, you know, has run into that corner, kind of, I guess, hoping that he could survive. Unfortunately for him, he could not survive, and he does die to the nanoswarm. Laz manages to get that kill. We end up in a 2v4 with now, you know, obviously Fnatic having to be pretty far away with that lockdown. Boaster does manage to get one, and Boaster's about to go crazy. It's not perfectly played here by Zeta, right? We've gone 1-by-1 twice there. We end up in a 2v2. But this next spot from Boaster is really, really cool. He's going to put down a star. He goes for a recall, and I think Crow thinks, oh, this is a full smoke, right? So he's going to end up reloading. Boaster catches a glimpse of him, but now when that smoke comes down, he gets that kill as well. And then he just goes spraying, gets the 4th kill. And, well, let's just watch his reaction here as he gets the crowd to try and celebrate with him as well there. Nice 4K by Boaster. Really cool stuff as well from Laz. I really like the alarm bot, you know, just placing it down there, right? Get that information. That was cool. Then the nanoswarm lineup. I'm sure you all love that if you're a Killjoy main. But yeah, really cool round to see, and Boaster ultimately win it with a 4K. And now let's come to round number... And now let's come to round number 12, and we've just seen a Killjoy lockdown and the menace that it can provide, and we're going to see another example of it here. And I do think that going forward, this is kind of what I expect. You know, the Killjoy lockdown is going to become a big deal in these, you know, next couple weeks or whenever games are played, right? I think that Killjoy and the lockdown is going to become a real part of the meta now. And we'll see the power of it in this round as well. Some really, really nice play from both sides, actually, in this round at different points, as you shall see. So what we're going to start off with is we've got the Reyna here is going to get a bit aggressive and just come and tuck into this corner. And Sprout actually misses the Reyna just there. But Fnatic are going for a C-split, right? So they're going to go for this fast little C-split here. As you see, they're going to come in towards Garage, send in a Prowler just there, smoke this off, and they are going to, you know, start to come down towards the site. Now, they actually do get a glimpse of depth just there. He just misses his shots. The Fade Haunt goes in, and we get the Killjoy lockdown coming in here as well, right? But now, alongside this Killjoy lockdown, it's the last round, so we're going to just commit all of our ults. We're also going to get a Breach ult in onto the site as well from Leo in just a second, as you will see just there. Comes in. But whilst that is going on, what we've got is 10, you know, who we saw, you know, be snuck up there. He's now going to come all the way around, and he's going to be very fast, right? Because that Prowler missed him early on, getting in that cubby, he's going to be there very, very fast. But now, what's going to happen is he doesn't shoot the lockdown, right? I think he expects that, you know, there's someone like right here who's about to swing him any second. So he doesn't shoot the lockdown. That's going to be very big as we're getting a kill on the site as well. But he loses that fight against Althea, and now the lockdown is there. Again, though, Laz has placed down this little alarm bot, right? Expecting that someone is going to come up here. And again, he is going to get rewarded for doing that, because what's going to happen is we're gonna get, he actually manages to get a kill on Durka as well, but this alarm bot is gonna go off here and alert Depp that someone is here, and then, he tries to get an arrow swarm out, but Depp takes his head off, right? But then we're gonna get something really good by Boaster as well, right? He knows that this lockdown is gonna push the players back there, so he's gonna smoke very, very, very deep, right? And what's gonna happen is this lockdown does go off, and Depp gets, detained here by the lockdown. But now this smoke causes them some problems that they have to come running out, and obviously they have no sight as they're running out of that smoke, because now, Fnatic know that these guys are going to want to try and save this guy, right? They're going to want to, try and defend their teammate from this being, just a free kill. So he knows, Boaster, that these guys are going to come running out, so he's put this smoke down knowing that, and now he's going to take up the position knowing that they're going to come out of that smoke to try and defend that guy. So you see, Boaster, he's not focused on trying to get this kill on Depp at all, right? He knows that this probably isn't going to happen. He's too far away. Instead, he knows that these guys are going to come out of this smoke and try and defend that guy. And so he's just, focused in on this smoke as they try and run out of it instead. And you see that Boaster does manage to get one, and Chronicle helps him with the second. We end up in a 2v1. Really, really good. This was, good from multiple sides here. And eventually Chronicle will finish it off, and Fnatic will win the round. And then finally, let's finish with something a bit fast and a bit fun here, as Depp is going to go and manage to get an ace here on Jet, as Zeta are now the attacking side. They're just going to run it down towards B here. We get Boaster kind of caught. This is what I would call a Sugar Zero move from the other side. He's going to quickly smoke and just run into the smoke. Managed to get one. Gets traded by Depp there. And this is really, less of a tactical round, more of a kind of, interesting movement and utility use round by one player, I would say. As Depp, you're going to see how he uses his dash and the smokes in the game, right? So he manages to get that kill, nice little off angle, dashes back into the smoke. Now, Crow there is going to die, but straight away, Depp is there to trade instantly as well. Althea can't quite manage to get the kill. He then decides to dash into Althea, as you can see just here, hunting down that kill, does manage to find it at the right second, and we end up in a 2v1 versus Durka. And now you're going to see, again, just, looking for this kill, being very, very aggressive. Durka has no idea he's in the smoke. It eventually fades, and Depp will get the ace to win the round for Zeta Division. Ultimately, they would lose the game 13-5, I think, but it was a very interesting game. I mean, they were playing Reyna. There was a lot of Reyna at this tournament, far too much Reyna for my liking, to be honest, but we will be taking a look at some of the other games as well. But I think for Fnatic, it was kind of, a decent showing, and kind of a showing that, they could, they have it right, and obviously their team, like, has good ideas, and they seem to know what they're doing, and they have 5 very, very strong players, of course, now as well, that, they should be taken as perhaps one of the favorites going towards Sao Paulo and for this upcoming year.